Hi, Eddie here. So today we are gonna make a different format. I'm gonna show you game 22. I'm not actually gonna play it in real time because I already played it, and I did it like before yesterday, but it was late at night, so um, I was only playing. I wasn't commenting, so um, I might place in this video like my face of desperation, especially in the end, and I will explain you why. So I was playing a Polish player at 1284, or at the moment I don't know if it was at 1284, but yeah, I started with d4. He played d5. I played knight f3. He played symmetrical knight f6. I played the bishop f4, which I always play as white. He went for the e6, maintaining his white square bishop inside his pawn chain. I played e3. He played the bishop d6 move, which is very typical, like telling me, okay, or you trade, or you go back, because if he takes, I take with h takes g3, and I open my rook. That's one of the most common teams in this position. Or I just let him take, and I take with the pawn. And this structure, although it's double pawns and double pawns in theory, supposedly it's not good. In this position, it's not bad. So I just said, okay, you can take, I'll take, and then I will develop my other pawn, create my pawn structure, and I will have two pawns here protecting the e5 square, which is the very important square in this pawn structure and in the London system. So I actually started with knight b d2. He took, which is bishop. I took back. He attacked immediately. I just played g3. It's totally okay. We can check the evaluation on the engine. So I'm slightly up, since I'm playing white. Maybe some moves could have been slightly, even give me a better evaluation, but even though I still have the advantage of being white. And here we have, like, actually it seems that if we castle here, it seems that we will have like a fragile pawn structure, but actually this is not that fragile. Probably this bishop being inside this pawn chain helps on this being like a position that it's quite playable, and we also have the freedom of choosing eventually where we want to go with the bishop. I believe I will go to d3 in any way, but let's take out the engine and keep on going. He played knight c6, attacking this one. It was already defended, but I still go for c3. So I wanted this position so I could come out with the queen if I want, or I just wanted to be able to move the knight and not be thinking if this pawn is protected or not. And I wanted this pawn chain since my knight was already here, so it wouldn't be a problem to have c3 there. So here I have still 15 minutes, so I think this was a, yeah, this was a 15 minute with 10, so this was all played very fast, even for me as a turtle. So he played b6. This is also common, playing as black, with the intention or to come with the bishop here to make a possible trade, but that normally only works when the knight is still here. Or maybe in other situations, maybe after this pawn, something like that, and if we take, they take with the rook. But yeah, I do believe that he didn't make... I mean, he probably could have played better, like we can check. Probably... Actually b6 is like the second best move. Knight e7 is the best move. Probably the idea of knight e7 will be to play f6 and then e5, since we have two pawns, and with the knight here you have two knights, a queen and a pawn, and basically if I take, he takes, he opens the rook, I take, he takes with one knight, and he is already attacking my bishop. I take with the other knight, and he has another knight to take, so even if I place my queen here, it will be a quite challenging... I guess it is the idea of playing knight e7. Here in depth 30, it already says that b6 is better, or a5. a5 is okay, already starting the attack on the queen side. That type of engine move that that probably nowadays is very played, because yeah. So you went for this, I played. My line of thinking here was I didn't want him to occupy this, although I knew that he was not... I don't know exactly. I think I played this in order to... At this moment probably I wasn't yet sure if I would castle this side or this side, because at least for me the London tends to be very flexible, where the side where you castle. So when I can, I try to leave it open. So I assume that what I was thinking here was to bring my knight here, and if he takes, basically I have a fork. And sometimes people at lower levels still take. Sometimes I'm a little bit impressed why people do that, but some players do. And I was thinking, okay, if he just develops the bishop or develops the rook, I'll just develop my other knight. Or eventually the queen. So yeah, I moved my knight to e4. He played a5, probably again thinking on that trade that I mentioned before, because this bishop is quite strong, especially if he decides to move this knight back. We might have some ideas of when this knight will be here. We might have some ideas of sacrificing and then check, and then eventually queen here. Of course, this knight cannot be here for this type of Greek sacrifice, which for the ones that do not know, it's a type of attack where you sacrifice the bishop here, and or it will lead to check, or it will lead to a win in material or in position, or both. So he played like this, and since I was thinking of this, I wanted to develop my queen again to be flexible on castling, I played this. I think that till here I was quite happy. I felt that okay, I still have 14 minutes and I'm playing well, and if I look at the engine at this moment, I'm like almost 1 point up. I think that his last move was kind of bad. We can check actually. yeah, his best move was knight e7. The engine still wants him to go knight e7. And then he had bishop e7, which was this one, or rook b8, probably with the idea of start pushing here. Well, let's not make a lot of analysis, but yeah, yet for sure better moves. All the 5 best moves are not what he played, which was the knight back to, which was, yeah, a weird move. Like, I mean, I think that in the big majority of time, like playing the knight back, it's always a bad move. In the big majority of times, but again, I'm just a guy with 1200 ELO rating that intends to be a 1700, so take everything I say with a grain of salt or two. Just throw salt at whatever. So basically here the engine actually say that I could go immediately h4. I've seen in other games of mine that when I'm reviewing that the engine always says that, especially in this position with these 2 pawns here, it's very normal for him to advise h4. I think the idea is to basically attack on the king side, and probably with the idea of, actually here he goes h4 and then bishop a6, bishop takes h6, knight takes h6, and we play h5, and then he plays c5, like counter attack on this side, and then we still play h6. Okay, where did the line go? It just changed, so this is not good. I think it's this one, right? h5, 94. No, 94 is not. Where is 94? Is this one? Okay. So you'd play here. Okay, we cannot check, but basically the idea is to start push, because here he cannot take, because we have not only the rook but the queen. And the thing is that if he plays this, we can take, and probably if he takes, we might take with the knight, and if I'm not mistaken, we have the open rook, so we can probably make a check or bring the queen here. So yeah, actually probably the next time I'll have this position I will try h4. Okay, not dwelling a lot more about this. I think that I was happy with my position. I developed these knights. Let's take again off the evaluation so we don't. I'm seeing the game for the first time since I played it. So he played a6. I was prepared for it, so I didn't. I mean, I don't know what I did, but taking it, if he takes with the rook looks very ugly here, at least in my humble opinion. I don't know what. I just castle and said, okay, if you want, you take my bishop and I take back with my queen. I still have this pressure, although this knight here is a little bit annoying. And the thing is that since this bishop is here, there are none of those typical ideas of a bishop staying here, or even a queen coming to this square, which is normally like when we try to damage the pawn structure of our enemy and create something like that. We always want like to come with our bishop here and then try to come with the queen, or vice versa, like a bishop here and just come with the queen here and then here, something like that. But in this situation, the white bishop is already locked in the pawn chain, so it gets a bit more difficult. Although of course he could come to b7 and then play c5, challenging this. I wouldn't take, because if I take, then he could open up the bishop, this bishop that would be staying here if he had played b7, bishop e7. So I took, he placed the knight there, and I went with my knight here. I think my idea was actually to kick his knight right away, because he didn't have any, he could only go back basically. After I played f4, and also if he tried to play g5, yeah, I could just take, and I mean it would be like this position. I could just take, and he would take with his knight, but then I would attack his knight with a pawn, and then he couldn't move his knight. I mean he could check here. I would just move the king forward, and he had to do something, and now we have this major attack. So I think this was my idea. So yes, indeed it was f3. Let's see the evaluation. Okay, so I'm still in an advantage, but nothing special. He went back with the knight to f6, probably first because I was attacking him, and yeah, and here maybe I play this. I'm not fully sure. I might have also played this. I don't know. No, I brought my rook to the fight. We'll check later if it was a good move or not. He came here. I didn't see any reason not to advance this pawn, because I think my idea was to place then this one here, because if he takes, I just take, and I'm attacking the knight, and I'm also attacking this knight with the knight and the queen. So yeah, he didn't take, he took my knight instead. So I took this with the, and here it was my mistake. And I was thinking about it when I take with the rook. I was thinking about, yeah, I will just take this pawn and make a discover attack on the knight. And actually I made it, or I just, oh yeah, I didn't make it. I could have, if I would take, I don't know, this was my idea, but I just felt that when he moved the rook here, my initial, I just had like a brain fog, and I was like, okay, his rook is there, so now I take, and he takes, and instead of thinking to myself, okay, so what, I can just take, like his rook cannot come here, cannot come here, cannot come here, cannot come here. So yeah, basically I would win, not only I would win a knight, I would be threatening mate. So once I take, he wouldn't be able to take, I mean he could actually take, because when I take here the knight in h4, if you have the rook here, then he could come to h6, but probably then I would be a knight up, so I would take the rook and he would take with the queen or with the pawn, probably with the queen. In the first glance makes more sense, but I would be already in an advantage, and probably I would start thinking about how to attack this pawn. So here I blundered, like this was very like, and yeah, when I was reviewing I felt bad, because how much time did I spend with, yeah, I spent a minute in this move, and yeah, it is what it is. So of course he realized what was going on, so he went back. I think I reinforced my pawn structure. He went back, attacking my rook. I brought it back. And here I think that probably... no, he didn't... yeah, I think... I'm not quite sure if I would take... yeah, I couldn't take, so... here I had to play this because... this pawn is protected. And now I checked. He came here. I was already only with 1 minute. I was now going with my pawns like a crazy person does. He proposed a trade. I think I took it. I probably felt that with the knight and the pawns, and if I started moving my king, I could have something. Or maybe I would just like blitzing and just trying to survive. Probably it was that. And here I think I blundered again. This type of end games, like, it's quite bad because I always reach this point of the game with like 1 minute on the clock. So here, yeah, I was like, okay, if I move, he comes here, I check, if he takes, I can promote. But of course I calculated bad because I give him check and he takes the other one, and then I advance and he comes back, so it didn't work. So I just said, okay, I will advance this one. If he takes, I take with the knight, and then I'll consider what I can do. And basically what I could do was this fork. So I do believe that we are, yeah, this is a draw. Basically this is a draw. And now I played c5, knight c5, I advance with my king. He makes the opposition in e6. I play my knight to a7. He plays king to d6. I play my knight to... I give check on b5. He goes to c6. I check him on d4. And now he goes to d6. I check him again. And I'm considering, like, if he does the same, I go for the draw because I have 30 seconds. I move my pawn forward and attack the pawn and the knight. The knight has to go back. I move a4, he moves d4. I come here, he gives me check. He advances with d3. I'm still thinking I might be able to promote if I play well. I play a5, he takes. And then, yeah, timeout. And then I was flagged. I don't know exactly how I lost, like I have 51 seconds, and I was actually watching I will try to place here on the original video, because I don't know if it was a glitch of chess.com or if it was the glitch of the software that I was using to record the game, because it totally looks that I make this capture and right after he plays this and I lose by being flagged. So yeah, it was I mean, the game was quite nice. It was a 55 move game, but yeah, it was another loss, so it was a frustrating end. Okay, so even reviewing games I'm slow, but still I had 88.5, which is reasonable. He had 89.3 according to chess.com, and I had 0 blunders according to the 2 misses. I played as a 1950 and he played as a 2000, so we both knew what we were doing in the opening, and he played better in the middle game. So here, till here, this is theory. They call it the Indian game, although I think it's because chess openings theory didn't develop. I mean, in the 90s there was already like an entire opening a lot of opening books, or I mean, I'm not actually super specialized in openings, but I see that, for example, the London system is not something that we see a lot in all the books. So here everything is more or less like, it feels that most of my moves are slide. He really wants me to play h4, and here he wanted me to take the bishop. I felt, I mean, I don't know exactly why, and I'm not gonna. He wanted me to come here, so if I would come here, I'm not sure if he would take here, or if what exactly will. If I would come here, he could play f6, and that would be a fork. So I didn't want that. I don't understand exactly what. If I would come here, I think he could play this, right? Or what am I missing? Oh, I could take this one attacking the. Okay, I didn't see it. I think yeah, exactly. I'm attacking the queen, so he needs to leave, and but still, I still have a problem here. Let's say that he comes here, not here, but let's say that he comes here. Is this a good move? No. He says, oh, of course, the best is to attack my queen, and now. What? And now I take this one? Does it make sense? So it was not this. Okay, I'm not actually following this, so, or I'm not getting it, but the video is already a little bit long, so I attacked the e4, the knight, he went back. I still have the advantage. I mean, now I have 1 point of advantage. Yeah, this didn't feel very good. Now, again, this was a mistake on this side because I can take here, but now I make a miss because, again, this was what I was saying before. I could have taken on e6. He played his knight well. Yeah, and here it was a mistake. I was already. I don't know if I could have done here. It was better. Yeah, probably something like this would be interesting, which makes sense. Yeah, but I didn't see it. So he played this, and he says that I should have played this. If you play this, probably I'll take, you take, I'll take, and yeah, I would be in advantage, so I shouldn't fear this. And if he takes here, I will take there, he takes, I'll take, check, and he places the knight, and I take back the pawn. So this is the structure, and so I didn't need to take that one, basically. So, but this move was nice, and I'm always a little bit reluctant when it is to move my knight back. Here he says it would be best to place the knight on f4 instead of moving the pawn. Here he took, I took, and he took back, and I took back. And actually he had advantage here. I don't know exactly what was the move. Okay, he could have already like bring the knight here to avoid this check, I assume. Because was this good? Was this what I played? Yes, this was. Okay. So I advanced with this one, and I think that I didn't play a very bad endgame. And again, here this was bad. I could have played this, but he also didn't play quite well. Clearly, we were not endgame players. He played this here. Here I will have my miss somewhere around. Yeah, it was that move. And again, this is 1 minute 55 seconds. He moves. I have 45 seconds. He moves. I have 27 seconds. 36, 33, 27, 34, 28, 38, 45, 52. So we still. Now, this is, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, I will place a little bit of the original video just for you to appreciate my frustration face after losing when I felt, yeah, this is a draw. But yeah, we are always learning, and that's the point. So see you next time. Adios.